Hey, welcome to workshop number 3 of the Canva for Entertainment Professionals series. I'm Roger Coles, a Canva verified expert and content creator, and today we're diving into how to market your film or TV project using Canva's suite of creative tools. You've brainstormed the story, you've built the pitch deck, and now it's time to hype it up. We're diving into how to use Canva to market your film or show with posters, social graphics, press kits, websites, and even that fly merch you'll be wearing at festivals. This is all about turning heads, marketing your work, and building that I need to watch this energy around your project. Here's what we'll cover: designing for multiple platforms using Canva's visual suite, repurposing content using Magic Switch, building EPKs and websites to support your launch, and how to actually print and share everything you've created. Let's get into it. Let's start with designing your key marketing materials, things like posters, flyers, and social media content. Here we are at canva.com/entertainment. Let's get that poster designed. I'm going to go over here to the entertainment landing page, click on Film Poster, and choose one of these designs. And we're going to customize this to match the branding for our project. Just a quick refresh on where you can find the brand kit. From the home page, you're going to go over here to the left-hand side and click on Brand. And right here, you'll see Brand Kits. And this is where you can add in a new brand kit right here, or you can choose one of your existing brand kits and update it. I've got the Last Memory brand kit all built out right here with all of the logos, colors, fonts, and photos that we'll need for these designs. So because we already have our brand kit set up, we're going to go over here on the left-hand side and go to Design, and we're going to go to Styles. If I just click one time right here on our fonts, you'll see that it automatically changes the fonts in our design. And we're going to do the same thing for our color palette as well. Now we can start to customize this. And I have some photos already set up in my brand kit area here. So I'm going to click here and scroll down to the photos area. And I'm just going to grab in one of these photos. Because it's kind of difficult to see the text right here, I'm actually going to add in a gradient. So to do that, I'm going to click on the R key here. That's going to bring in a rectangle. And then I'm going to bring this down and we'll make it a little bit wider. And then we're going to go up to this top toolbar and we're going to click on the color picker here. And then we'll choose black. And if you click on it one more time, you see that we have all of these extra adjustments inside here. So now we can go from a solid color to a gradient. So I'm going to choose gradient and then I'm going to change the style so that it's a linear gradient. And then I'll click on this first color here. And I'm going to bring down the transparency. And I'm going to take the second color and make sure that it's all the way black. So now I have this nice little fading transparent gradient here. And it's much easier to see the text at the bottom of our photo. Now, the chances are you're going to want to use your design in lots of places: social media, banners, and maybe even some t-shirts. So with Canva's all-in-one visual suite, it makes it really easy to do that. So we're going to come down here and we're going to change this to show page thumbnails. And if we just hover over this, we'll see these 3 dots right here. So we'll click on those 3 dots. And then we have this option to resize this page. So we're going to click that. And let's say that we want to do an Instagram story. So we'll click there and Canva is going to automatically generate another design for us all within the same file. So now we're starting to kind of put a campaign together. We have our poster right here. We have our Instagram story right here. And then we could do the same thing. And let's say that we wanted to turn this into a flyer. So we'll click here, we'll go back to resize page, and this time we're just going to search for flyer. And I want this to be a portrait flyer. So the dimensions are going to be very, very similar. You see that it's just a little bit wider. So here we have our poster, we have our story, and we have our flyer. And let's just do one more. We'll do a Facebook post. You may have to make some minor changes here, maybe adjust this a little bit. But you can see that we have 4 different designs as we're building out this campaign, and they're all in one Canva file. If you prefer to work with one design at a time, you can also resize using Magic Switch. So to do that, you'll go up to Resize, and then let's say that we want a flyer here, and we can search for a sticker. And then let's search for a t-shirt design. So we'll go down here to this little drop down arrow, and you can see that we have our 3 different sizes all selected. And then we want to make sure that we only select page 1 to be resized. So we'll click this little drop down here, and then we're going to go up and deselect all the pages, and then only select current page here. We'll click on done, and then copy and resize. Once we click Open Designs, Canva is going to open up a new tab for each of our designs, and now they each have their own individual file. So here is our flyer, here is our sticker, you can see it over here on the right hand side, and then here we have our t-shirt. So let's start with the flyer right here, because when it's time to print those beautiful designs, thankfully you can print them directly from Canva. If your design is eligible to be printed by Canva, then you'll see a Print with Canva button on the top right of your screen. To see all of the different types of designs that you can create with Canva, you can check out canva.com/print, and you'll be able to see all of the different types of designs that Canva can print and ship directly to you. So here are a few best practices for printing. You always want to make sure that you can see the bleed and the margin. So to turn that on, you're going to go over here to File, and you'll see that we have settings right here. And so we want to make sure that we turn print bleed on so that everything that we have in our design is going to be seen once it gets printed. On the right hand side, you'll see that you can choose front and back. You can also choose the type of paper if you're printing something that will be on paper. You can choose matte or gloss finish, and then you can select the amount that you'll need. So if you only want 1 flyer, you can change that. When you're ready to go, just click on Continue. One of my favorite things that Canva does is it gives you this template assistant to make sure that your design is going to turn out the way you want it to when you go to print. So it's telling me that I have to replace this low resolution image, so I know I need to swap that out. I can also see that I need to increase my text size to a 10-point font. So I'll go ahead and fix the font sizes right now. You can always do a final check by downloading a PDF for a final proof to read and see how your design is going to look once it's printed. Once everything looks good, you'll simply go down here to check out. If you're not going to print with Canva, or you're going to send this to a print vendor, then you would go to Share, and you're going to go here to Download, and then you're going to click here and choose PDF Print. RGB is best for digital use, but if you're going to be printing something out, then CMYK is best for professional printing. So you can download it that way. You can create a full electronic press kit using Canva. So let's open up one of the press kit templates from right here. We'll just snag this one and use that same handy dandy trick of customizing this to be our own. One of my favorite tricks to do is that when you're editing a template, there are a lot of things like this, like the old titles, Abyss of Deceptions, but I don't want to have to change each one of those individually. So if you use the keyboard shortcut Command F, you'll be able to find and replace, or if you want, you can find the same thing over by going to File and then Find and Replace Text. So I'm going to search for anything that says Abyss of Deceptions, and I want to change that to the last memory. And we'll do Replace All. There's 17 instances of that. Now I don't have to do that by hand. So we'll click Replace All. There we go. So if you want to take it one step further, you can actually turn this EPK into a Canva website. You can add anchor links, external links. So let's say that we wanted to have people learn more about Patty Moore, then we could have a button right here, and then we'll say Learn More right here. So now I can make this a hyperlink by going up here and clicking on these 3 dots, and we have this option that says link. So this is where I would enter that link, And for now, we'll just say this link right here, and then we'll click on done. So now this is an active hyperlink that when I turn it into a website, it's going to direct them to the Canva Entertainment page. But I could also link internally. So I'm going to name this page trailer. And so let's say that I wanted this button to go to the trailer page. Then I would again go back to those three dots here, click on edit link. And this time we're going to search for pages in this document. So if I scroll down, you'll see that we have trailer. So we'll click that and then we'll click on done. So now when I go to publish this website, I'm going to go up here and we'll go to share. And we're going to go to website. So we're going to share this as a website. And this is kind of the default link that Canva gives us, but we can change this by clicking this little pencil icon here. And then we want the ending of that to say the last memory. And you could of course get a new domain if you wanted to. So if you wanted to have canva.com or you wanted whatever the name of your film is, then you could get a new domain and tie this up so that it doesn't have a website URL like this, but it has a custom domain. And then you can of course adjust the publish settings here so that you could add in a website description, and under advanced settings, you could make it so that this is password protected. So maybe this website is not available for everybody to see, but then you could turn this on and enter in any password that you want so that anybody who has the password is able to check out this website. When you're ready, you'll just click on publish, and then you can view the website here. If you'd rather start with a website template instead of turning another design into a website, you can go ahead and customize one of these templates right here. You could turn this into an EPK, or you could simply debut some of the work that you've already created. Here you can see how I customized this template to match the branding for our film. And you could do this exact same thing, a little bit about the director, the education, and you can preview the site by clicking right here, and you'll get a preview of what it will look like once you publish it and send it out into the wild. Canva gives you built-in website insights so you can actually see how your page is performing. Like, are people checking it out? Where are they coming from? Are they clicking those links you dropped in? So you'll get data like how many views your site's getting, what countries they're coming from, whether they're viewing it on desktop or mobile, and what links they're clicking on. So instead of just hoping your press kit or project page is doing its job, you'll know exactly what's landing and what might need a little remix. Let's recap what you just learned. You learned how to design and format promotional assets for print and digital. You learned how to use Magic Switch and brand kits to save time and stay on brand. How to create EPKs and websites to showcase your project like a pro. So here's your next step. Create your first marketing asset using a template on canva.com/entertainment. Resize it for another format using Magic Switch or the all-in-one design feature. Build your EPK or website when you're ready to pitch. Dive into the post-lesson activities and resources to deepen your learning. I know we've covered a lot over the last 3 lessons. Everything from whiteboards to documents to brand kits, presentations, and a whole lot more. So feel free to go back and watch previous lessons if you need a refresher. Thanks so much for letting me spend this time with you. I know you're going to create something amazing. And who knows, maybe someday I'll see you on the red carpet.